Sid, you're Siddharth, right? Or Siddhartha?
I'm Siddharth, but
Siddharth.
nobody ever calls me that because
All right.
the last time I heard my full name is only probably when my mom gets mad at me, which hasn't happened in a long time. Or if I see a slipper flying across the room, that's when I know it's that time. That hasn't happened either. So,
Some, yeah, some
so
things don't change
no, no,
with
no, no.
parents.
See, we South Asian household, that shit does not change.
It's the same in Sri Lanka, man. And if it's not the mums, it's the wife. When a wife or girlfriend calls you by your full name, like when someone says Tennyson or when someone says Suresh, then I know
You
shit's
fucked
about
up.
to get real.
Yeah. No, but yeah. So first of all, I just wanted to say welcome to the podcast. Okay, this thing is called the. I call it the Metal Meltdown podcast because I couldn't think of a name in the hospital while naming this thing. So I was like, okay. But yeah, you guys are actually my 14th guest. Okay.
Oh
Nice.
wow. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, because what happened was I actually was interviewing bands here, and then when they ran out, I started interviewing bands everywhere else. So I was like, I would literally just reach out to people and be like, "You want to be on podcast?" And they said yes. So I was like, "Okay." So,
Which is the
no, but
best way to go with it.
yeah, because like for me, I actually
If you
reached
don't
out.
ask, you won't know, right? If you
No,
don't ask, you don't know.
no, and plus, I don't ask like typical interviewee questions like, so what time signature is this? No, I don't do any of that. Okay. I keep it more fun.
Really that's a typical interview question. Oh my god, you
That's
should hear the
surprising.
questions in Sri Lanka.
No, like literally, I don't go into all that. I keep it more fun, like more jokes and more fun because it's more fun that way. Like, I want my
Yeah.
guests to be at ease. I don't want, yes, we play in 4/4. No, fuck no. I don't want that. So, So basically, I'm going to start with the world's most boring question for any band, which is, how did you all start and what was your inspiration? I hate that
Tenny.
question, but I have to ask it every time, which is very annoying. But anyway,
So Tenny and I met in back in college, St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, which is a very prestigious, uh, very old school that was fashioned after Eton in
uh,
UK. In fact, the school is celebrating 175 years this year. It's one of the oldest schools in Southeast Asia, one of the oldest
Jesus
in Sri
Christ.
Lanka, and Jesus Christ. And yeah, it's Anglican school, so Jesus Christ is, I guess correct.
No, that's like
And
six of my generations, or 10 of them at this point, probably.
and so we met in school, man, and there was no one really doing playing this kind of music. There were a couple of there's a very cool covers band called Rattlesnake, um, and a Sri Lankan band called Venom. Had nothing to do with the Venom, but they just call themselves Venom here. And they used to play a lot of stuff by Iron Maiden and Deep Purple and Black Sabbath and Jethro Tull and Led Zeppelin and stuff like that, AC/DC. And that was nice because most of the other bands that just played clubs and pubs back in the day in the 80s and the 90s would just play all this mainstream stuff, right? All this mass market stuff.
नहीं अदरक नहीं मैं मंगवाता हूँ बाद
Oh,
चाय मत बनाना साहब नहीं है घर पे Okay, sorry, yeah, that's
it's
going
okay.
in, okay, because
It's
I
fine.
don't do any edits at all. Whatever you see is what you get. So like
That's fine.
sometimes
That's very metal. That's how it should be, actually.
no, because like sometimes my cleaner might be cleaning the floor behind me, my dog might come and jump on my head. All that has happened in podcasts, so it's fine. I don't do any of that.
All of them
So
makes it very metal. So
yes, it does. It does. No, because like I remember when I shot my first episode and I was trying to edit it, it was such a nightmare because the audio was going in one direction and the video was going in the other. So I was like, fuck, what do I do now? So then I was like, fuck this, no edits. We'll just keep it as is.
All right, that's good. It works. It works. So we met in school.
Mm.
The tall and short of it, Mazam, with our long, boring stories that there were just a couple of bands that played like rock and roll and hard rock, and then there was this alternative rock band called Independent Square, where they were playing their own music, and they were very courageous because they would play live and people would throw shit at them and shout things at them, and because they didn't want to hear original music. And both those things combined inspired us, because from the time I met Tenny, we were like just jamming out and writing songs, and we just wanted to write our own music, play our own music. We're self-taught. We don't have a genetic disposition where we have musicians in our family backgrounds. None of us, right?
And
So
self-taught wins, bro. Because like the teachers normally only start off with like fucking nursery rhymes, like Mary had a little lamb and did it there, and I'm like, no, like
that's true.
literally, I remember when I used to go to classes, yeah.
Mm.
The guy used to try and teach me like Stairway to Heaven and shit, and I went there like, can we play All Shall Perish? And he looked at me like I was like some bullshitter. Like I was like, yeah.
So we not just, I mean, of course we had to learn through the years because we had to improve. When we started off, we were pretty shite, as most bands that start off. We didn't have an identity, we didn't have an image, we didn't have a sound. So we had to develop that, and we had to cut our teeth by playing any and all shows, from small school halls to big school halls to school type events to clubs and pubs. And sometimes we would play clubs and pubs, man, back here in Sri Lanka, and this is 99, early 2000, and we'd finish the show and they would bill us for the water bottles that they gave the band. It was like that.
Yeah.
So we have what you call very, very humble, unremarkable uh, beginnings, our genesis, right? So we, in a nutshell, saw that there was no one out there kind of playing the kind of edgier, heavier music that we liked, the darker, the sometimes the faster, the more versatile music. And we thought, what the fuck? Let's do it ourselves. No one else is doing it. So that's how we started.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, because I remember a funny story. For me, I actually found you guys through some white dude's documentary on YouTube. Okay.
Discovery Channel, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he was in a bar, and the first, I remember this line that he said very clearly, that in Sri Lanka there is a rise of heavy metal. And I was like, when I heard y'all, I was like, that's not heavy metal, you idiot. That's death metal.
So he would I to be fair, he was a sweet, sweet dude, but I don't think he listened or he knew the heavier types of music. So to be fair,
Yeah.
we love death metal, and we incorporate a death metal sound, a thrash metal sound, old school death metal, tech death, prog metal, a lot of different elements. But we have a lot of different music styles, as you would have
Yeah, I
experienced.
mean, you guys were marketed as a prog band, and that kind of threw me off because in the documentary I heard death metal. So I was like, this is up my alley. And then I heard it live, and I was like, wait, he's doing cleans now?
Yeah. So we've always had a mix of cleans and heavy. So Sid, one of the great things about uh, being a Sri Lankan band that started when there was no movement or scene for metal, anything metal, right, is that we didn't care about genre. We didn't care about uh, like sort of boxing our sound in to sort of package it and process it and like just market it.
Mm.
We did whatever the fuck we wanted. Like all the guys have very different musical influences, but also at the same time, we have shared musical influences, and all of that kind of seeps into what we do.
Yeah,
So we don't look at any metal style and say, that is too cheesy, that doesn't work. That was never there. Like we love Guns and Roses and we love Deep Purple as much as we love the 60s, 70s prog scene, Genesis, Kansas, yes, all of that, right? But then definitely, I mean, a lot of our nourishment comes from stuff like Morbid Angel and Beyond Creation, and then more versatile bands like Nevermore and Opeth. And so
Yeah.
it's a mixture of stuff, Tool, King Crimson. It's our musical tastes are all over the place.
No, but that in itself is what helps you stand out, right? Because then you can, especially when you're making your own music, you can forge an identity through that also. It's not just going to be like bolt throw worship like many bands I know, but I'm not going to name any of them. I think only Suresh is talking, Baba. You guys need to talk too.
Yeah. So I guess when it comes to style, I would say we don't really think about it also that much because it's just we just listen to the music, but doesn't really mean we're gonna we can play like those bands we listen to also. So it just becomes like a very kind of like a natural output of expression we are trying to create with a different idea because I would say if you want to like recreate or sound like some band, it's really hard. You have to do a lot of research, especially if you want to sound like Opeth or like or like any big prog band like Dream Theater. You need to learn a lot, and
I
I
mean,
guess
you
yeah.
guys
So
put in a lot of like folk influences and shit too. So I don't think you're trying to sound
yeah,
like Opeth, right?
yeah,
Opeth,
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
jazz. There's a lot of
Yeah.
jazz,
yeah,
fusion,
Yeah,
Latin elements,
I
and
would
there's a
say
lot of
it's
Sri Lankan stuff.
yeah, a lot of Sri
yeah,
Lankan influence
which
of
is good.
like music context of yeah. It's more what we drive is like a Sri Lankan sound. What we hear in more like Sri Lankan folk or like Sri Lankan, um, um, we have like unique Sri Lankan pada. It's like swara in Carnatic music. You get different swaras like
Yeah,
ragas.
yeah.
So even in Sri Lanka, we have different like kinds of ragas and swaras like that, and even in the drums like tabla, like corner call, we also have like different kind of like counting, like pada, it's called pada.
Hmm.
Like tarikata, we also have like those accents, and also we just incorporate a lot of Sri Lankan accents into the music, and that kind of drives it to be a little bit more different than the usual metal accents you hear in other bands. So I guess that's the uniqueness. So I guess it's like an ethnic kind of a touch to the music,
But
which if you,
it's
yeah.
good that way, It helps you stand out.
Yeah, and we are also comfortable with it because it's what we're used to. Rather than trying to be the fastest band there or the most complex band there, it's something we are more relaxed about, sounding ourselves and just like having fun with it. So that's the kind of idea, and we try to like stick by and like experiment more with the Sri Lankan grooves, like try to be more traditional in a sense to get that identity. And definitely, I mean, there is some kind of learning we have to do at some point, and we have been gradually improving, learning new things, and whatever we learn, we try to incorporate it into a song. So that's how we try to like grow as musicians as well, I guess. So yeah, that's it. I mean, not like we are like from MIT, like MIT or like Berkeley or anything like that. It's just very like simple kind of enjoyment kind of music, but
But
having fun with it. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's what matters, man. That's what matters. But tell me
yeah, yeah.
something, Tennyson. Were you a core kid back in the day? Because you move on stage like you're a core kid, because you grab around, like attack style and all of that. So I was
Oh
like,
yeah. So I'm a huge. I used to be an. I don't know whether used to be, but always a more new metal, like a metalcore,
yeah, yeah,
like now into gent, like crabcore, or like tech death as well, like alien techcore. So I would say like more Sky Harbor, like Amok Symphony, like stuff like that. The first wave of gent, like animals,
yeah. Because I
and
got
then
like, because when I was
yeah.
watching you move at Evil, I was like, yeah, this guy definitely likes Periphery. Next.
Yeah, huge Periphery fan. So yeah, definitely. I guess like the first wave of Gent when it came out, like Animals as Leaders, Periphery, and Amok Symphony, Sky Harbor. That was like the very first bands, like 15, almost like 15 years ago, like 10, 15 years ago. I heard, and that was like an eye opener, you know. And if you're like in the prog domain, it's a different sound of prog,
Yeah,
and yeah, and it's like so it's something different I also got into, and definitely I have the tech that side of things as well, like RCs, so like Faceless, you know, I mean like bands like that. And so
and
like each of us have very different influences, so that's also a challenge when we try to write a song as well, but it kind of gives us more gray area to like play around with music as well. So I guess that's why we try to keep every song different to each other, and we have achieved it so far. And
yeah,
I
I
would say
mean,
in 25
it's,
years, yeah,
I think,
something like that is a big
yeah,
thing, like even for
because
us. Yeah,
like if your songs bleed into each other, it becomes a problem. You know,
yeah,
the whole replayability of a record or an EP. If the song starts bleeding into each other, you have a problem.
Now it
yeah,
gets pretty boring, also, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean, we have a lot of respect for bands that have their own identity and their own sound. I mean, I'm not throwing shade at bands like AC/DC, okay, and Slayer. I love them. I love them both. But the
yeah,
thing is, when you're there hearing them churn out, by the time they're down to their 12th or 13th song, you're kind of like, yeah, it it's great, but it sounds like
the first
the
song.
early few songs that you had before, right?
Like for me, I know bands who are very good at the formula. Like when they have a formula and it's perfect, that they can churn out a record that sounds the same every time. People like that, sure, then
Of course,
but then you
because
get people with really big ears, and that becomes a problem.
no, it's a matter of subjective taste, right? It's like
Mm,
some people like to watch movies that are pretty linear in terms of plot and story, and movies that are pretty predictable. Some people like to watch movies where you don't know what's going to happen next and it's going to surprise you, the TV show or the movie, right? I mean, as the lyricist, I love reading books and poetry that will, bowl the oddball doosra at you and completely, where you're like, WTF, you're like, what just happened right now?
yeah,
Like, what? I didn't see that coming, right? It's like watching those early Tarantino films, like watching Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction or Jackie Brown, and you're like, holy shit, I did not see that coming, right?
yeah,
But having said that, there has to be some familiarity also where people can bond and connect also. So it's like Tenny said, it's finding the perfect balance, that
yes,
nuance, of where you can still get a WTF, like a what the fuck reaction from the crowd that we saw when we were performing. Because they're like, okay, this is super heavy, this is brutal. And they're like, okay, now this sounds like Pantera. These guys are groovy. These guys are really groovy. And then they're like, wait, are they playing a Latin jazz fusion part? What's
no,
going on, right?
yeah, I know. I mean, for me personally, when you started hitting cleans, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Because I came in expecting, okay, he's gonna growl and gurgle at me, and I will be very happy. But then when you started singing clean, I was like, wait, what the fuck? What? When did this happen?
Yeah, so okay, as I'll be honest, when I started off, I mean, when the band first started, I wanted to just play guitar and write songs, and Tenny would hopefully play lead. We couldn't find a singer. That's the truth. There was no one who wanted to like do this stuff. And for me, at that time, I was trying to sort of emulate the more Bon Jovi, Aerosmith, Van Halen kind of vocals, because that's what I could do. uh, Queen has been a massive influence on all of us, me as a vocalist in particular, right? But then through the years, I mean, you discover Chuck Schuldiner and it changes your life. You discover David Vincent of Morbid Angel and that changes your life. You suddenly discover bands like Testament and Dark Angel and Overkill and Destruction, and then you're like, all right, I like that vocal style too. I want to try that. But I feel like having the roots where guys like Axl Rose and Ian Gillan and Freddie Mercury, where they have this massive range of color with their vocals when it comes to singing. So we incorporate that as well. But then when people don't know what's gonna happen next, we'll do the most brutal range of either gutturals or Cradle of Filthy Shrieks or
Yeah,
Robert Halford the highs. All of that's there, man.
yeah, because like I remember when I saw the documentary and you let out one scream in the mic and the guy was like, "Holy shit," and I was also like, "Holy shit," but then I was like, "Yeah, I like that." But
Thanks, man.
okay, Damnatious or Damny Noodles, let's do this.
Damn noodles.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna make fun of you because it's fun.
No, no.
He's a
Yeah.
cool dude, cool sense of humor.
So, are you the youngest one in all of these guys?
Yes.
I thought so. Okay. How old are you?
25.
What?
I mean, almost 25.
Almost 25.
24.
Jesus Christ, I'm older. No, but okay. So, I'm guessing since you're the youngest, you're the newest member also?
No,
Or that's
it's a
Shane?
bassist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Dilshan.
okay.
Dilshan. Yeah. He's the newest
how,
member.
so how did you join, buddy? Huh? You played a behemoth tutorial and then everybody said yes? What did you do?
I was playing in another band called Sevex.
What, cervix?
Sevex.
Sevex.
Like
Sevex.
Oh,
seven feet.
oh, okay. Okay.
And we were opening for Stigmata.
Uh-huh.
So that's how we.
And we stole him.
That works. That does work. That's fact.
No, they stopped playing actually.
Yeah, that's also true. That's the truth of what happened.
Hey,
We
man,
actually met many years before. He came and auditioned
Yes.
for us, and it didn't work out at that time because he stays very far away, and we hadn't figured out the logistics and stuff. Like it's a 5-6 hour journey for him to come to Colombo where we are at, right? So
oh,
up
shit.
and down was but crazy commitment this dude has. So a couple of years later, he was playing with this band Sevex. We saw him play, and we had an opening. We spoke to him, and this trailblazer just rocked up, having learned about 6 songs, and we were like, okay. We were like, 2 songs would have been fine. You'd have convinced us, but that's fine.
It's okay. The more the better. It's easier that way. And then throw in random behemoth playthrough at the end. Then you're okay.
I've had it.
But yeah, that's good, bro. So, what are your influences then? You like Linkin Park Boy and all of that?
Yeah. At first, Linkin Park. Yes. And, yeah.
But with a name like
Oh.
Damnatus, I think you were probably more black metal too, right? Huh?
Not really, actually.
Oh. No, because I thought when you'd have a name like that, you'd probably rock up with like some immortal or something and be like, you'd find him in like one random Finnish forest drumming to nothing, like,
So tell him your influences, Damnatus.
Yeah. At first, I was interested in punk music. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because punk drummers are crazy on the kit and all.
Yeah, that's
And then,
true, dude.
yeah.
I
After
mean,
that, Marilyn Manson and yeah, Guns N' Roses.
so he's more the gothy style, huh? He likes his
Yeah.
modern.
Yeah, he started goth, but then like now he's like, we realized, dude, at this resurrection metal events, this dude was the youngest drummer to play on both stages.
I mean, no shit, man. Most of them, like, have you seen the guys in Evil? They look like they're going to die next year or something. And
Oh shit.
even, even the ones in Malevolent Creation, okay? Like the main guy, if you ask him his age, it'll sound like he told you he had a terminal disease or something. But yeah, no, like I know they're way older because they've
Yeah,
been in the death metal scene a long time. But even
that's
Evil is like what 30 years old as a band now, I think.
yeah, about no. I think must
So
be about that. Also, to be fair, we should mention that while this guy started as a punk drummer, he's evolved to a place now where he's a big fan of former Sepultura. Eloy
Yeah,
is now with
yeah,
Stigmata.
oh shit! So he went the new metal route now because Eloy's in
yeah.
Slipknot.
Slipknot and yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm slightly disappointed because the name said something else, and it would have made me very happy had he thrown like a bath or immortal or something. But then that didn't happen, so I was like, okay. But
But the important thing is he can take any black metal drummer toe to toe and he can play like that. So that's the
oh
important
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I mean, I remember at your gig, I think he did a gravity blast or something, and then I went to heaven afterwards. Uh, so then, like, how? So that's your influences and styles. But then, how many this is at record number 5, right? That y'all are currently doing now.
Yeah,
So, how big are the timelines between each of these? Because it seems like it's been a long gap, right?
Yeah.
that's true. It's been a long gap, but to be fair, it's not like we were on hiatus. We were still organizing and playing shows.
Mm.
We had a massive terrorist attack here
Oh yeah,
called
yeah.
the Easter Sunday bombings, and then after that, COVID happened. After COVID happened, there was lockdown, and after the lockdown period, the country went into full recession, and then there was uh, you know an outcry, and there were people protesting. There were protests for a long period of time. So all this stuff happens in the time span of 6, 7, 8 years, right?
Hmm.
But during that time, we always released singles supported by lyric videos or music videos.
Yeah, I
And
noticed that.
in the time period, we stayed busy.
वो बना रहा है या तू बना रहा है? तो तू रहे ना उसके साथ, दोनों साथ में खत्म करो। पर चाय थोड़ी बनाना। Oh shit. Okay, ठीक। हाँ, नीचे से लेके आ। इधर वो सब्जी वाला है ना, उससे अदरक लेके आ। Yeah, this is also going in here. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna edit it.
Are you out of bananas?
No. He needs ginger.
Oh, right. It just sounded like banana. I don't know.
No. Adrak is ginger.
Adruk,
They use it
okay.
in chai and other things. But yeah.
Okay. So we man, we actually kept busy in that time. It's not like we weren't working. And during that time, there were obviously lineup changes that happened, which also made things very difficult, right?
Mhm.
And with the country having its worst recession in our nation's history, obviously gigs didn't happen. There were no sponsors. People were out of work. Supply chains were in mass disarray, right? Venues were like just not functioning anymore. So we had to somehow, tiptoe through all of that and navigate through all those hurdles, right? And then, I mean, it just felt right with this lineup. And so the Dubai playing both, being invited to perform at both the Desert Inferno shows, 28 and 29, was very important to us because that sort of really gave us the kickstart we needed to celebrate the Silver Jubilee and the 25-year anniversary. So the moment we played Dubai and we finished those shows and we came back. We were like, all right, we've written these songs. Let's stop fucking around now. Let's start recording. So to be
Ah,
fair, the guitars and bass were done, and
oh,
it was taking some time for us to record the drums and the vocals. Um, but the moment we came back, we were able to sort of finance ourselves. We were able to sort things out, book the studios. And there's a bit of a process because, though we record here, we send it abroad to mix and master. In the last 7-8 years, all the singles that we've recorded and we've put out, we got it mixed and mastered in the UK by a producer called Romesh Dodangoda, who is a Grammy-nominated metal producer who's worked with like big bands like Architects and I think Bullet for My Valentine and all these guys, right? But this time around, we decided we'll move in a different direction. We'll do our own production over here because Tenny and Shane and Dilshan, they have their own home-built studios. So we tracked all the guitars and the bass there to a click-through metronome. And then this guy absolutely slayed it on the drums, and I've started on the vocals now. So we're going to
yeah.
mix down track by track. This new album, we're doing it in the States, in the US. So we're
Okay.
going to get it mixed and mastered down in the US track by track. And if everything works according to plan, the new record will drop maybe, hopefully, touch wood, that wood, not my wood, by April or May.
Oh, that's quick. That's quick.
Yes.
Then.
That,
Because
so
I
that,
mean, you're already in Feb, so that's pretty quick, actually. I mean,
yeah.
like cattle decapitation takes 40 years to put out a record, so this is a whole different thing.
Yeah, so we're working. You see, everything has to sort of align, right? You have to have the right chemistry, the right musicians, and you need to have people who are committed, who share that same spirit. Let's make a new record. Also said, we're not a band that wants to be one of those bands. There are some bands that drop records so fast, one after the other. The fans don't have fucking time to breathe, right?
That's true.
So
That's true.
it,
I mean, for me, I listen to a lot of like one-man bands, and those guys are pumping out content like anything. So I'm like,
that's true. That's true.
huh?
But it's good. It shows that they're resourceful and they're productive.
Yeah. One second.
No problem. Asa, Jesu Kelly Avad. Tamane? That's a bit strange.
Ah, sorry about that.
No problem, Majan. No problem at all. So for us, we like what Tenny said. That has always stayed true to us. Like if you watched our performance at Desert Inferno 28 with Evil, you'd notice that none of the songs sounded the same. There's
No, that's
all
true.
the songs have a brutality to it. It's got melody, it's got harmony. And I mean Tenny was being very humble to say that we are not from MIT and our music is pretty simple. But I
Trust me,
think from
it's not simple. It's
the
not simple.
response that we've got from other musicians and people there is a certain complexity, I think, in what we do as well. It's unique to us, authentic to us. So I feel like we are in the right time now to also drop a new album, and I feel that the gap between this album and the next one is going to be a lot marginally closer.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard you guys live and I heard the singles and all that before coming to the show, because I wanted to see, because because I didn't know what to expect. So it had been a long time since I'd actually listened to you guys after the documentary. So I was like, okay, we'll see how this works, because you guys and Evil were actually the two bands I wanted to see, plus one local band. I didn't really give a fuck about the rest of them. But yeah, so that so when that happened, I understood what I was getting into, and then I came to the show. But it still gave me surprises because, like, for me, I like prog. Prog is fun for me, but I also like slam and all that other stuff, the good stuff. So no power metal. No, that hurts. Uh, thrash
So
also.
Tenny and you are a little bit similar then in that regard.
No, see, because like for me, I can sit through a thrash record, but I hear so much music every day that I'm more used to like a blackened thrash record or a death thrash record, anything with growls. Unless the cleans are very good, like a Devin Townsend or something, then okay,
Right.
I can sit through that. I can sit through a Catatonia. I can sit through Michael's wonderful cleans, but he started growling again, so that made it very happy for me. I don't have to wait for bloodbath. Okay, um, I can sit through all of that, but like I can't do architect's cleans. I can't sit through a trail. I can't do that anymore. You
Okay,
know?
I get it. So you don't like the nasally cleans? No, I. So
No,
I'm
no,
also not into that
no.
stuff. I
Like
like the voices to have body. I don't mind the high shrieks if it's like Rob Halford shrieks or Danny Field shrieks,
yes,
right?
that I don't. Danny Filth is an acquired taste because when he does the really long shrieks, my ears explode. So
But
that's
his range is
oh,
incredible.
it is,
He's
it is, it is. But
but
I
you
prefer.
touched upon one of our biggest influences, man. So Devin Townsend, I would say Strapping Young Lad
Oh
and
yeah,
the Devin Townsend band and Devin's solo stuff has definitely had a big impact on us.
Devin's solo stuff and strapping. Like for me, whenever I'm sad, I play Love because why not?
Yeah,
You know. And whenever I'm not sad, I play Jeweler also because why not? You know.
yeah.
But like I remember when I saw the documentary, I'll tell you this because at that time I was still exploring like deathcore and shit. So when I heard your high scream, I was like, "This is very Suicide Silence." So this is nice. I like this. But then by that time, I was already jumping between like your Eddie Hermida, All Shall Perish, and all of that. So I was more
Okay.
used to that at that
All right.
time because I'll tell you, my journey with metal actually didn't start with heavy metal and all of that, like other people who started with your Pantera and all that. Now, my journey actually started with the most ironic Swedish band of all time, which is Arch Enemy, but not with Alyssa. No, mine
Angela or
actually.
Johan Leva? Johan Leva is our favorite era of Arch Enemy.
Oh no, for me, I started with Gossel because like
Angela Gossow.
yeah, because I actually started like with your Burning Angel and We Will Rise and The Day You
So
Died and all.
wages of
Yeah,
sin,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then yeah. So for us, man, actually, and this is interesting. You touched upon it because we named the band Stigmata after Arch Enemy's Stigmata album
Yeesh.
because
I
that
I
was.
didn't know that, but that's a good fact to know.
I mean, I think my favorite, and I think Tenny's favorite Arch Enemy album of all time is Burning Bridges with Johan
Yeah, of
Leva, and that
course.
album was just like woo.
Yeah.
But
It's very underrated because a lot of people for a lot of people, Wages of Sin and Anthems of Rebellion are still in high regard.
yes,
None of
yeah,
Alyssa's stuff is in high regard though, because people are still crying that she left the agonist, which is a better band. No.
that is true.
I mean, like, if we're talking Arch Enemy, I have to say this because I have heard everything that band has released, but they wasted Jeff so bad. They did
Yes,
him so bad.
yes, yes.
Like it's good that he's bringing Nevermore back, but I don't even know how he's going to do that.
Yeah, that's a topic of mass contention for me, where I have tattoos in Voralden's memory. So, yeah, I try not
No,
to
you know,
have
this is the same fear I have with Fear Factory as well, because
without Burton, right?
Because they have a new person now.
Yes, yes,
So I don't know if he's going to be able to do what Burton did, you know?
that's true.
So
That's very true. I guess we'll have to like sort of wait and see. There are people who can maybe try and emulate the sound, but they won't be able to bring anything unique. And
yeah, but at the same time, I hope that, for Nevermore, they end up doing what a Static X did, which is use Worrell's old recordings and release that as new songs, because Static X did that with Volume Generation A, volumes of degeneration, volumes of regeneration, whatever the fuck that shit was called. But it turned out to be some of their best stuff that they released. You know,
Yeah,
if
that's
they
true.
do that and go down that road, it'll be nice before they go fresh.
I
Because at
don't.
least,
That's true, but I don't think they'll do that because they've already started auditioning for singers.
uh,
So
no, because technically the guy under the mask, even for Static X, is the guy from another band, but he's not doing his vocals. They're using Wayne's old samples anyway.
right, yes, yes,
So, I mean, they could do that because I'm sure Warren Dane had tons of samples already done, which they can use to make new songs. He was writing all the time. I
that
know
is true.
Lucas was writing all the time, besides randomly covering Jason Baker every 5 days. But that's a whole different thing. Yeah. So, okay. So the other thing I wanted to ask, because I don't have set questions, is this time, what are you basing the record around? Is it like, is there a theme that's going to overflow through the record, or it's just stuff y'all want to play?
Do you mean
Because
musically? You mean thematically, lyrically,
thematically,
content-wise?
yeah, thematically.
Yeah. Okay. So this time around, there is a big influence of us breaking down and assessing the human psyche and the human condition.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of stuff where we um, are sort of analyzing the writings of guys like Carl Gustav Jung, Friedrich Nietzsche, Sigmund
Mm-hmm.
Freud, Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor. So there's a lot to do with struggle and suffering as a species as a whole, but how we try to grip and find a slimmer or sliver of hope through all of that, right? So that is the basic premise, but of course it's a lot more advanced because we are talking about modern day issues as well, like the song Trigger, for example. The
Mm.
new one, Trigger, is about this whole cancel culture movement and this whole woke thing. Just because something fucking offends you doesn't mean you have a right to wipe it off the face of the planet. If something offends you, sit down like a grown ass adult, have a conversation about it, whether you're a nation, a society, a family, or a community, right?
Mm. Mm.
If something offends you, too bad. Boo hoo hoo. There's no law on earth that says that everyone has to agree on the same thing, right? Friction is what has helped us grow as a species.
Yeah, nobody's going to agree anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So trigger is sort of about that, how people are easily triggered, but it's also sort of shedding light on cyberbullying and trolling, and how trolling is a massive thing around the world right now. And
Yes.
it's very easy to be a keyboard warrior when you're behind a phone or a laptop, but come face to face and say what you've got to say, man. So trigger is a song about that. We have a song called The Cull, which is basically about dopamine addiction and how the new advents of technology are creating this hive mentality and stealing the independence. People are not liberal. People are not connected with each other anymore. They're just connected to their devices all the time, right? So there's a lot of modern topics, but if you really dive into it, like skin deep, we're sort of talking about the human psyche and the human condition and why we behave the way we do.
Yeah, I mean, technically, if you think about it, y'all are discussing everything that you see around in your environment, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
at the end of the day, these are all issues that we all see. Like, I have seen device addiction, I've seen all of that. But I mean, I guess what makes any band releasing music, especially metal, is the fact that we're not afraid to express that. I say?
Correct. Correct.
Because,
So,
like, say you're a pop band or something, it becomes more difficult because there's a wider listening base, and those people are very quick to get keyboard warrior-ish right now. Like everybody's fingers are twitching, you know. At least with metal bands, it's a lot less, but you get your trolls for every music video anyway. You
That's
know,
true. Yeah, yeah.
but
So we've also tackled anxiety and depression. We have a song called "Singing My Pain to Sleep," which is a new song on our album, and that tackles mental health struggles that all of us have, but more particularly in the perspective of men. As men, how we have a lot of pressure in society to sort of, to maintain this facade and to maintain this very, very strong and robust appearance, when inside we
oh
have
yeah,
to deal with a lot of struggle, right?
yeah,
So it's a lot of the topics are very timely as well,
but
but it's spoken
I'll
about
tell
in
you
a
one thing.
very poetic and different way.
The whole thing about men being stoic and not really crumbling under all the pressure, all that, to be fair, has been instilled since generations, especially in
Yeah,
South Asia, right?
correct.
we we
100%.
we have always been told that men should not cry, men should not express themselves, they are the breadwinners of the house, da 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 da. But now times are changing. But that whole thing that we have passed on from generation to generation has not changed. We still, I mean, I don't have any kids yet, but I know as a parent at some point I will also tell them the same shit because that's what I was told. So unless like I change that and I tell
Yeah.
my kids that it's okay to express yourself, filtered or unfiltered,
Mhm.
that's not going to change.
Yeah, as men, we have to stop apologizing for feeling things, and
Yeah,
uh, we have to be able to express what we feel and what we think. So it's important. And
the
I
thing
think
is,
I think for Tenny, me, as like an older generation that have kids, we are trying to do parenting in a different way. We're trying. I don't know how successful we are, but we want our kids to have love and empathy, but we want them to have tough love also, for them to understand discipline, to understand responsibility, accountability.
hmm,
I mean, we don't want to be putting a bunch of snowflakes out there in the world. There are enough of flakes out there, man.
oh God, that's a whole another conversation. But but like as as far as having kids and really talking to them, I guess the other thing that needs to be taught, especially in our South Asian demographic, is that it's okay for the kids to express themselves in every way to the parent without judgment. Because a lot of kids, young kids, especially in our demographic, they find it very difficult to express themselves completely to the parent without thinking that they would be judged or have a certain reaction to anything that is being said. I mean,
Right.
I'm 30 now and I still have that problem, but that's how I was raised, where on one side, my mom would be non judgmental and listen to everything that I have to fucking say, and then give me her opinion or advice or whatever. But then my dad wouldn't be so open to that. He
Right.
would not really listen to what I have to say or try to understand what I have to say. So it would become a problem. Hopefully, in the next few generations, that becomes easier because your kids think of you as a friend who you're able to, you know, appreciate and be more open to. Because at the end of the day,
And to be a bit
it's,
more approachable, right? Not to
yeah,
be as judging.
yeah. I mean, that part is going to be there. It's in the genes, but like at least it should be a lot better because I mean I'll tell you one thing, okay. In a lot of countries, especially be it far east or even in Europe, people who go off to say you go off to a Japan or you go off to a Korea, yeah, or you go off to China even, that demographic has been taught in a way that they are able to thrive in their own loneliness. But then the
Right.
downside of that is not everybody is able to do that. So
That's
that leads to high suicide rates, aging populations because nobody wants to get married, you know, all of that.
That's
And that's not something that should be happening, you know,
and
because,
if us people in the metal scenes don't talk about these important topics, man, no one fucking will. So
oh, yeah, definitely.
that's why even
Definitely.
cultural conditioning, what you're talking about, we address in the album also. Maybe not directly, but indirectly. Like so, I think this is a very important record for us. I think I would even go as far as to say it's probably the most important record of our career because musically, um, it's something that hasn't been done before. I would say that even thematically, topic wise, it's touching. There are some very very valuable touch points that as a species we need to critically analyze and think about. We need to be emotionally more intelligent, emotionally more tuned as a species to each other right now with all the shit that's going on in the world. So this is an album I feel personally. It's coming out at the right time in the right place.
But tell me something, because I mean, you know how our cultures are technically very sensitive to certain things. You know,
Yeah.
the way certain things are perceived is very, very sensitive. So, how do you
Yeah.
walk that line? Because, I mean, I can understand we can be extremely abrasive and give out the message, but the way our cultures are wired, it backfires very quickly, you know. Like,
Yes.
for
Yes.
example, you give out a positive message on mental health, but the way you
Yeah.
convey that matters a lot more because, I mean, people in India, especially, I'm not sure about SL, but in India, especially, mental health is still something that is not really that widely thought about. Half the
Same here.
time, half
Same
the
here, man.
time, half the time, I guess people just think about it like it's a cough and cold where you just pop a pill and you're done. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not that easy. I mean, for me personally, I don't really do this on podcast, but I mean, since we're open, um, I also have gone through depression and all of that. I've been in therapy for close to 2 years. You know, it's not easy. I luckily haven't been on any pills, but I mean, in and out weekly meetings, it opens you up. And for me now, I'm in this sort of thing where avoid bullshit as much as possible. Even if you somehow find yourself at the center of it, which I somehow tend to do all the time without even being a part of it. But um, for me, like literally after 2 years of therapy, I feel like I have a PhD in conflict management because I can calm shit down, but I can stir it up too if I want, which I never want to do. Also, where the fuck did he go?
I think my wife and daughter must have arrived. So he's downstairs. He stays with me when he's in Colombo, when he's in town, in the city. So
Oh,
my wife
oh,
and daughter have gone to work and they would have just arrived right now. So he's probably opening the door, is what I think. It could be something else.
okay. It's okay. I mean, if he wants to take smoke break, I've had people do that on here.
Oh,
It's
no,
a
he doesn't. He doesn't smoke. He barely drinks also. He'll have a shot or two with us once in a way. That
oh
boy doesn't
shit.
smoke. I don't smoke. Danny doesn't smoke.
Okay. So you're a
Uh, the
halal.
two the two smokers, the two chain smokers are missing from this interview, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, because I remember when I had seen you all at Evil, I think Shane went out for a smoke break. So I was like, wait, you were on stage 5 minutes ago. What the fuck are you doing on the floor? Because she came to me and I was like, hey. And I was the only asshole sitting in a chair because I had to. But no, no, what had happened was unfortunately last year. हाँ, देख लीजिए बाद में। हाँ, हो गया? Okay. Um, so unfortunately, what had happened was in March of last year, Dutchlet had come. Okay,
Oh wow.
and I had an unfortunate accident in that gig. So what ended up happening was that the way I landed in the pit, my right hip was broken. So I had to get out of the gig and go to the hospital. I didn't know that my right hip
Ah,
was broken. I thought it was a dislocation. So I was like, okay, I'll be back in 10 minutes. They'll just straighten it out and I'll be okay. And then I went to the hospital and they tried to do an x ray. And I was like, well, I'm fucked.
wow.
So, so then they did an operation. They put two rods inside and now I'm okay. It's
Holy
been,
shit. Do the guys in Gutslit know this shit?
yeah, of course. The guys in Gutslet know it. The guys in Cask know it because they gave me a T-shirt. I bought my own T-shirt for Gutslet. That's a whole separate situation, but that's it. Um, no, and also, like, I remember when Malevolent happened. Also, that time I couldn't come to that gig because I was getting another operation done. That was also, but that was in my head. So because like what ended up happening was I started having migraines, which
Right.
I've never had in 30 years of my life. But I started having migraines because what happens is, who the fuck is that? Hi, little bit.
Kelly, hi. Kelly.
Hi, Calico.
Kelly girl, hi.
Hi.
Okay, that's how we do that then.
Hey, Calico. Rain is here.
Hey
Rain
Red.
wants to say hi.
Hello,
What?
children. Also, why is he
Dante?
barking?
Yeah,
Dante.
that's my youngest.
That's okay. That's fine. Yes, thank you. I
Okay,
had a
Calico.
dog who used to sound like that, but not anymore.
That's a lot of practice.
Hey man, I can believe that. But but like yeah. So when y'all were performing with Malevolent, that time also I had my second operation. That was in my head. So after that, I think
Yeah, you
yeah.
told me
Now
you're in hospital and I asked you, are you okay? Is everything all right? Because I was like,
yeah. No, so that shit. What happened that time was I started having migraines. So I went to the doctor
Oh,
and we did the CT scan, and he's like, "Yeah, your ventricles are dilated." And I was like, "I don't know what the fuck it means." He's like, "Your
what does
brain."
that mean? I was about to ask you. What does that
So
yeah.
mean?
What is the name?
so basically, what happens is normal people have pathways in the brain that allows the fluid to go down to the spine and the rest of the body. I
Right.
don't have that. So they they had put in a tube in order to facilitate that movement.
Shit.
So so
Wait,
that
what? For 30 years you didn't have it?
yeah. So when I was born, because I was born premature, okay, and this was one of the
Oh,
problems of that. So
oh,
uh, at birth they put in the tube. Then when I was 5, they changed it because it got short. Then at 10, they changed it again because it leaked. And now this is my third one after 17 years. Yeah. But this one, the interesting part is the one that came out was torn in 4 places. So they had to take it out. Otherwise, I was fucked.
oh
Shit.
shit.
Yeah. So, like, they put
Dude,
like,
you're literally like a cyborg.
no shit, man. I'm part Terminator.
Yeah, you sound like Terminator now, bro.
Yeah, man.
Man,
Badass.
man, I'm telling you, I have more than one rod. Okay. They put two in my leg. And
Shit.
and the funniest part is like my mom was like, what do you do with yourself? And I'm like, I don't know. It just happened.
Just imagine you walking through airport. You're gonna be beeping for like
No, see, that's different. That's if I had a steel rod. This is titanium, so no beeping,
no detection.
no detection, no detection. I remember because after my leg surgery was done, I went to Bombay. And the funniest part, I went to Bombay on the same day that Skeletal. No, who the fuck was that band? Anyway, I forgot the name. But one of
Uh, uh,
them,
Skeleton Witch, Beyond the Permafrost.
no, not Skeleton Witch, Skeletal Remains, I think, or some shit
Okay.
like that. I forgot.
Okay.
I forgot the name now. But they had come on the same day, and I went through the airport, and luckily nothing beeped. So I was very happy about that. Otherwise, I would have to like carry the whole documentation and things like that.
Yeah, man. That dude, you are like a warrior podcaster. You've been through like incredible shit. Seriously.
Trust me, I know. But like for me, that's why when I see people sad at hospitals, I'm probably the only guy who's smiling there. Like, eh. My mom was like expecting me to come crying out of the OT table, and I was just like, "Is everything okay? Oh, my leg is straight."
Bro, if anyone ever gives you any shit that you're not metal enough, you've got to say is, I've got
Yeah,
titanium in my body. I'm as metal as it comes. How about you?
no, like literally, luckily nobody told me that. But if they do, I'll just be like, motherfucker, I got 3 there rods. You got 1. But I like for me, you know, the reason when I was in hospital, I was bored as fuck. So when my mom said you should start podcast, at first she said start a health podcast, and I was like, no, that's very boring. I'll start metal podcast. Okay. So I started that. Luckily, I didn't do any episodes in hospital because I didn't have stuff to do it with. So I started doing it in my house.
But it's great what you're doing for the scene, man. I mean, we really appreciate it, and we do appreciate you taking the time because you wanted to meet us when we were in Dubai, and things were so crazy over there. We couldn't meet you, but you've
Yeah,
kept in touch.
how was the Vitara Desert Safari?
Oh, I'll let these guys answer that.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy. We went there at about 3:30, 3 o'clock. About 3:30, we got to the desert.
Uh-huh.
We were there till about 4:30 in the morning. So we spent the whole night in the desert. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it was crazy. We went into the freaking desert. We got like a midnight drive in the dunes, like pitch black background, just two jeeps racing on like high ups, like going like that, and
Did,
we are like,
did,
yeah,
did you all
down, and
get
we're like,
to
yeah.
ride camels too?
No, we didn't meet. We saw some camels, but we didn't get to ride the camels.
Because
But we,
they were like wild camels in the desert.
That's
yeah, yeah.
fine. You know, you got saved. The last time I rode a camel, I couldn't feel my balls anymore. So you got saved in that regard.
Maybe
Uh,
saved
But
by the balls.
But we
yes.
did we did like Tenny said, these guys are like crazy off-roaders, right?
Oh
And like
yeah,
we
yeah.
were going on those sand dunes, those massive sand dunes, racing on those things at like in the heart of the desert, like in the dead of night. That was like badass.
Yeah,
Ah, usually they tend to do it in the daytime because then they can see which sand is soft and which
Yeah,
is hard. But I
yeah,
guess daytime is a whole another situation.
yeah.
yeah.
But these guys are pros. These guys are
Yeah,
pros.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I used to go desert safari. Yeah, that time they would primarily do all the desert safari part in the afternoon, and then do the belly dancing and the dinner later. That was actually,
Oh,
I think I have probably gone flying around the car whenever we've done a dune, maybe 4 or 5 times easily, because they never told us to put seatbelts. So I was like, okay. And then 5 minutes later, my ass is in the air, and I'm like, oh, gravity. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy because we saw some videos of some jinns um, and like spirit stories in the desert,
oh
middle of the
God, not
desert.
again. Yeah,
Yeah,
they keep telling me we should go to a spirit village and see some jinns, and I'm like, all the jinn is going to show you is like, look at my house.
Yeah, I think we scared a few jinns ourselves. They were like Sri Lankans. No,
yeah,
no, no.
yeah,
Yeah,
bro. And we
right.
got we got food delivered into the desert.
That's into the heart of
That
the.
was
Tell him
crazy.
about the tree, guys. Tell him
Yeah,
about the tree.
there's a tree in the middle of the desert where most of our Sri Lankan friends have found like this mysterious tree growing middle of the desert. They had done like a small like a tree house there
Oh, nice.
without any nails onto the tree because it's like a sacred tree. And we were there for like so many hours, like having a barbecue and like drinking till early morning. After that only we went on to the like the driver in the morning, like pitch black drive, and that was
It's
devastating
nice,
and
bro. You get to
beautiful.
see the sunrise out of that, you know?
Yeah, there was no sun. It was like it was crazy because we got stuck about 5 6 times. The vehicles got
Yeah,
stuck,
that's gonna happen.
and yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I actually got some sand and came to Sri Lanka, bro. I got some sand from middle of the desert. I know it sounds like weird, but me and
Man,
my me
people
and
just,
Shane, we got a
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's fine, man. It's memorabilia. It's fine. Like,
yeah,
it's
like
okay.
sacred sand from the
It, it,
desert.
it, it's a lot better than taking dates, when you show people, I bought Dubai sand. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
At least
yeah,
they won't ask you, you bought Dubai Ferrari or Dubai
yeah,
land or something like that.
yeah,
So,
definitely. So
so
yeah, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy.
good, yeah, good. At
Yeah,
least you all
love.
got to see the city properly, because it was two
Yeah,
weeks. But yeah, and
yeah, yeah. Also, we went to the Atlantic. Also, the
the what?
Aquaventure,
Aquaventure
the water park.
Oh,
water park.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know that water park. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. We went on the tubes. Uh, that was crazy, crazy. The one where you just locked in a like a air tube and three, two, one, and you just released into the
yeah, yeah. Plus,
yeah.
it also I think has the wave pool. Yeah, what is that called? It has that weird wave effect in the swimming pool. I remember
All right.
when I went there, I went in that pool and I didn't realize it
Yeah.
was gonna bring me back to the shore. So I went
Oh,
in.
right, right. So you're talking about, yeah, but that is like the most chill ride where you just
Yeah.
sit in the tub and you go through the rapids and all, right, and the
Yeah,
torrents.
yeah, yeah.
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 No,
Yeah.
but man, that some of the leap of
The
faith,
rest of
and there
it.
was one
Yeah.
called Blackout, and
Yeah.
uh, those rides, like the world's tallest rides, the largest ride, dangerous rides. Man, we shut ourselves, but we had a good time.
Yeah. We were like little
That's
girls
the point.
shouting. Yeah, and but it
That
was
is
so
the
much of
point.
fun.
We took all the rides. We took all the rides. We thought, like, we got there 10 in the morning and we left at about 5:30 in the evening.
Yeah, we finished everything. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. But
Yeah.
it's good that you all got this opportunity. Hats off, because after everything that's happened, I guess you all needed this break. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
tell me
Definitely.
something. Are you all planning to go elsewhere or just do gigs in SL for now until the album finishes, or fly off to elsewhere as well and perform?
No, for sure, man. Actually,
Mm.
our objective and goal in 2025 is to not play too many shows here in Sri Lanka. We're just going to organize and do a handful of shows. If we get invited to play a couple of metal festivals that are here, we'll probably do that. But our focal point is going to be for 25th anniversary and the fifth album to play abroad as much as possible. So we've negotiated, and we're probably going to lock in and do a run of India. We're going to do Singapore, looks like.
Yeah.
We're negotiating UK. We're negotiating Aussie at the moment. I'm doing that. I'm having talks with a couple of dudes, very cool dudes who organize like underground metal festivals over there in Adelaide and
Oz,
Perth.
Oz will be very interesting for you guys because like Oz has something in the water. Okay. Whatever bands they pump out, just pump out quality. Okay.
That's true. That's true. And we've done Aussie before. We've done Aussie and New Zealand before. And
Yeah.
last time we did Aussie, we had a full house. It was at the Melbourne Arts Festival at the Forum Theatre. And 1 week before we played at the Forum Theatre, actually Arch Enemy Opeth had played there. So we're looking forward to doing Aussie again. And of course, we are definitely coming back to Dubai 2025 with the album. So it'll probably be after October again. So it'll probably be the same
Much
time, or
better.
it'll
Don't
be
come in the heat. Don't come in the
no,
heat.
it'll be during winter. So it'll be maybe November or December for sure.
Yeah, that's better. You come in the heat, you'll die.
Yeah, that's true.
But
So we're very
yeah,
excited. So, man, we're just gonna look at touring as many parts of the world as possible and sharing the music. And of course, we'll have an official album launch here in our home country. We'll do that. But other than that, as a band, we are not really focusing on playing in Sri Lanka so much. We're gonna look at taking the music out there. It's about time we do that.
yeah, that's true. Because like I mean, technically you guys have been around for ages, but a lot of people here also, you know, people came for the Evil show, yes, but I think a lot of them freshly discovered you guys because, like, what happens here is usually the since the scene is quite tiny and it's still growing now because we're
Yeah,
getting bands to actually come. Earlier, it was very difficult because we used to have Desert Rock Festival and all of that where the big bands used to show up. But since that got dissolved, then these small gigs are where it's at now. And people do come, but the problem is during the week when it's not a big band, it's usually just the same venues with a cover band and people just listening to the same old covers again and again. For
right.
me, as a person, I prefer exposing myself to as much new music as possible. And like uh, in Vinod's group that he has created, that is actually our community, I share as much new music as possible. Be it you guys, be it other bands, be it a random Thal band, you know. So
Mm.
so that people get exposure. But then, from what I see of the demographic here that actively listens to metal, is that a lot of them are very like still stuck in that era. You know,
The cover scene. It's the same in Sri Lanka, man. Tenny will tell you, and Kasa as well. In Sri Lanka, there's the cover scene is still it dominates. Every pub, every club, you'll have bands still playing Hotel California, fucking It's My Life, Losing My Religion, Sweet Child of Mine, and all that same
no,
shit
but,
over and over again.
but like here the issue is like people when they're sharing music also. Oh, okay, no problem, buddy. It's
No
okay.
problem.
But even when they're sharing music, also, it's usually the same old links, you know, like 5 days or 10 days, you'll share the same typo negative song and you'll be like, okay, you know, it's
Right,
it's
right,
not
right.
it's not like there's a taste for any of the new stuff that's coming out because a lot of people have this whole stigma that the new stuff is following the scene. You know, like one Thal band comes, then everybody sounds the same. One
Right.
deathcore band comes, then everybody sounds the same. Lorna Shore did symphonic deathcore, then everybody sounds the same. That's the whole stigma that's happening here. you know.
Right, right.
But then when I show people um, like retromorphosis, for example, okay, do you know what retromorphosis is?
Yes.
Ah. So a lot of people
But
didn't
but
realize
but metamorphosis is not very, very big over here either. But
they're
uh,
not big anywhere because they're the fresh spawn of possession. You know, they're
that's
not
true. That's true.
they're not big yet because they're still writing their first record. The first record comes out next month. So check. Oh shit! It comes out the same day as Obscura's plagiarized record. Huh?
Big Obscura fan. So he
Yes,
said it.
but
Yeah.
what's your opinion on the whole controversy?
The bassist controversy?
Yes, the one where he wrote the riffs and Stephen copied.
I don't know. I just, at this point, so far, whatever Obscura has put out has been gold. So as long
Yes.
as they put out great music, man, the drama, every band has drama.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But like for me, I'm still going to listen to the record and give it a
Yeah,
fair
yeah,
review.
same.
At
Same,
the
man,
end of the
same.
because at the end of the day, the art matters. Fuck the artist. The art matters. Whatever you do in your own time when is your business. You know, I have that same opinion when Inquisition came under the hammer for the main guy being a pedophile. I don't care what
Right.
he does in his private time, as long as he's putting out good music that is present
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
ears. That
It's
can,
like
I'm
how.
not gonna base the art on the artist. That's the one thing I make very clear whenever I listen to any record.
అతను హాల్లోకి చేయగలుగుతాను
If there's a problem, I keep that separate. Like, the only person I can't do that with is Ronnie Radke, Falling in Reverse, because his art starts bleeding into his artist, and that becomes a problem. Because on one hand, he's making music that people like, but on the other hand, he defends it against criticism. If you can't take criticism, you shouldn't be in the industry.
That is true. I agree. Um, as far as Falling in Reverse goes, I mean that dude is a whiny bitch.
You bet. You bet. Considering he's 45.
Really, the dude looks like he's in his 20s.
Nah, he's fucking 45. Jesus.
Look who's
But
here.
oh my god, it's fake immortal. Okay.
Fake immortal.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
I told
you're
you I'm gonna
gonna
make
have
fun
to
of you.
name dropping better influences.
I'm gonna make fun of you about it. That's the point of being on my podcast. Okay? Like no, but seriously, like you put in some Abath corpse paint and it'll work.
Oh, we actually do have makeup on stage. We didn't have time to do it this time.
Oh yeah, but then also the stage was tiny.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
yeah.
also I mean,
That's also
Tennyson was barely fitting on with all the jumping around that he was doing. So,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that,
It was too small, but try to make the most out of it.
yeah, I know. You were, like, I could see you crabbing in one spot for 10 minutes, and I was like, hmm.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, I saw him, and then I saw Shane vibing in the corner, and Suresh is in the middle, and I'm like, how are they going to fit five people? That looks very uncomfortable. But anyway. But comparatively, you guys sounded much better because that venue has a very famous reputation for making people's ears bleed. So
oh,
technically, y'all didn't do that. So okay, because I remember when Vinod had bought. I think this was the first gig I went to after my leg, and it
right.
was a Cranius. Okay, so German deathcore. And he had like 4 cover bands before them, and one of them was doing Sepultura, and it went on for way too long. My ears hurt so much I got a headache. But I'm not gonna. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So at least now the sound was much better. That was back in the day. So that also matters, especially when you
How
play.
long? Was it the same venue? Same venue.
Oh yeah, same venue, but
Baba.
the same venue.
So the last time we rocked up to Dubai, it was at a place called the Majestic Hotel.
Yes, I know that place.
So I mean
If y'all,
that
if
was a
y'all,
much smaller stage.
if y'all get the chance, y'all should actually do a gig at Boracay as well, because Boracay is actually where Mayhem is playing today,
Okay.
and that's
Where is that? What is that?
yeah,
That's a venue, is it? Boracay?
yeah, Boracay. It's a Filipino bar,
All
but
right.
Filipinos go mad in the pit anyway, so that's a whole different situation. You know, like I'm sure when y'all were here, y'all saw how Skull Crusher does shows, right? Like Paul goes mad in the show. So, but like the Filipino guys, the last gig they did was Defeated Sanity, and that was also something else because that was actually the first time I saw kids at a metal gig because all ages were permitted. So I saw like a
Right.
5-year-old headbanging to Defeated Sanity, and I was like, I was sitting there the whole time, and I was like, this song was made before you were even born. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
we have, so to being 25 years, we have 3 generations of fans also. So like my daughter, tennis kids, they all rock up for shows. So over here in Sri Lanka, there are a lot of like tiny kids. So we had to choose venues, bringing that into consideration as well.
Hmm. Yeah, because here the problem is most of the gigs now are 18 to 21 plus. So I get asked all the time, bro, where can we go and see gigs? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. All of them are 18 to 21 plus. You want to enlarge your kids, then it works. But yeah, like,
So this Filipino venue you were talking about, bro, it's in Dubai.
yeah, bro, it's Dara side. It's in Dara. The one y'all
Okay.
were at is in Jadaf. This one's on the opposite side of the creek. Okay, it's
Okay. All
primarily
right.
it's primarily a Filipino bar, but those guys go ham in the pit anyway. Nobody survives. They might actually do walls of death and shit. So that's a whole different situation. I think that's what's going to happen at Mayhem today. I'm not going there because I don't want to be part of that mayhem and go flying in 5 different directions. I've already flown in one direction. I don't want to go flying straight through the air in another direction. But um, yeah, so they do wall of deaths and circle pits and things like that. I mean, one of the guys who always instigates a circle pit at even your gigs. Um, I don't know if he came from Malevolent Creation, but he didn't come for Eva. I know that. But that guy always makes good circle pits. I didn't go inside circle pit because I value my leg now. But that back then, I used to go in circle pits and mosh like one idiot and go flying through the air occasionally. But
So this Mayhem show is organized by the same people who do Sandstorm Festival, is it?
no. Those guys are organizing Ginger.
Right. Okay.
Those guys are.
Ginger and Dark Tranquility on tour. Yeah.
I'm not sure if Dark Tranquility is happening because as far as I'm aware, next month is Ginger, and I think we know this bringing Corpse, which I'm very excited about because I know in that show I might die. So there is that. Um,
When is he bringing Cannibal Corpse? Man.
no, he's not bringing Cannibal Corpse. He's bringing the other corpse, which is the Dutch slamming band.
Ek on color then.
Cannibal Corpse might be a bit too expensive
Expensive.
because Corpse Grinder might want all his Play-Doh and toys. So that's a whole different situation. But he's bringing the other corpse, so it's good. It's going to be a pretty violent show. uh, if I'm on the podcast next time with any hair that is lost or any teeth that are gone, you know what happened. But
We
yeah,
will know, bro. We will know.
You'll be okay. Like you said, you're the most metal dude, so don't worry. Yeah, fuck, man.
yeah, I might need metal teeth or something afterwards. But
Metal Keith.
yeah, so that he I think besides Corpse, he's yeah. So Ginger is next month with Corpse, and then I think he has a slate up till maybe June or October, if I'm not wrong. But
I'm only seeing the message now.
let's see.
And thank you. Uh, cool. So, we thanks for actually reminding us. We need to get in touch with Vinod as well and start figuring out the nitty gritties of locking in the 2025 tour when Stigmata will come in with the fifth album. So we need.
Yeah, that's a good idea because I think his schedule is already up till April or May or whatever. So if you want
Yeah.
a date, might as well jump in.
That's the thing. So we've already shared that. We've already told him we're interested. We are in talks now. So let's see. Nothing locked in stone yet. But of course, we like working with Vinod because I mean he's good to us and he's pretty generous. And I mean every time when you organize events anywhere around the world, there are shortcomings.
Oh,
If
yeah,
there aren't
100%.
sound problems, there are venue problems. If there aren't venue problems, there's going to be some other problem. So I mean, it's a slippery slope to organize
No,
metal
but
shows.
also like I'll give him credit where it's due. He's pushing the scene forward, however shitty it is, but he's pushing it forward
He's
because
doing it. That's true. He's doing his level best, and I think the more sponsors and more people that come on board, you can sort of make these events better.
no. Plus, also, I think the thing is people need to be more open to listen to bands like this. Because if you're stuck in your nostalgia, you're not going to grow your ears.
That's true. That's true. But that's a problem all over. I don't have too many criticisms of metalheads, but if there's one criticism that I have to point out is that metalheads tend to be stuck in just the types of music that they love, and they're not willing to explore and give other things a chance. And that's not something that's limited to the Middle East or Asia. I think
No,
that's
no,
there.
no. That's
They're
everywhere.
around the world.
I mean, for me, I was lucky I had an open mind to go down the rabbit hole. I'm still in the rabbit hole because a lot of my shit is underground. Like
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy who listens to bands with like 1,000 followers or whatever. Like for me, I listen to a lot of. Oh, it's actually interesting. So since you brought up mental health, I don't know if you've heard this record, but there is a record called A Monument to Silence.
Monument
Okay,
to Silence. Why does it sound familiar? Monument to Silence.
it's by a band called Illustrium.
Okay.
They're a progressive death metal band, but the whole record is thematically around mental health. But the
Okay.
way they do it is that they address the mental health like it's its own entity.
Right. Right.
So a lot of the lyrics are very conversational.
I'm just checking them out now while you speak.
Hmm.
There you go. Illustrium.
Yes. So they when they made that record, it was actually one of my favorite records of 2021. It's a
All right.
record I go back to a lot. Besides the new Job for a Cowboy, that shit blew my face off. But that's a whole different situation.
Yeah. Like last year, my favorite three records. I don't care what anyone says. I love the new Opeth. but my favorite was the opera Flesh God Apocalypse and the Blood Incantation album. Those two, and
Oh,
then the open.
Blood Incantation opened my brain, like literally. But then it does that all the time anyway. Like any
Yeah, yeah.
Blood Incantation record, okay, I can use to work or I can use to study. Like, I'm not joking. I used to listen to Bell Witch and do calculus. Yeah, calculus. Okay, I used to sit down, put Mirror Reaper on, and do calculus to that shit.
We believe
And
you because a lot of us, whatever work and stuff we do, man, we will have some kind of music blasting. So
yeah, yeah.
it's a truism.
No, and
Hey, guys. Yeah,
huh?
Then you
yeah.
gotta
So,
go.
yeah, here I have to get some dinner for the kids. They're
No
getting.
problem, buddy. We
Would it
also
be
have to
okay
come
if,
in the
if
soon.
I,
So don't worry.
It's
yeah,
okay,
Thanks for
buddy.
so,
meeting
so
us.
sorry, but
As long as
love you.
you're not the dinner, we're fine. Okay.
Yeah, otherwise I would have been the dinner by now. They're
Hey,
getting hungry. So.
okay. Have
Yeah,
fun.
Take
brother.
care, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you so much. This was really great. We'll catch up soon, okay? Let's see whether I can come back soon, but I doubt it. I need to get them something to something sweet
No,
as
no,
well.
no, no.
So
You go sort out the family. That's more important. I don't want you being dinner.
no problems, no problems. Okay, thank you so much.
See you, bro. See you.
Take
Take
Thank
care,
you
care.
so
buddy.
much. Sid. Take care.
Take care. See you. Bye.
Yeah, take care. See you. Bye.
You.
Thank you for having us on board. Bye.
Take care.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, Sid. So that's our cue also. I think I will have to
Oh,
get a
yeah.
divorce if
I'm
I.
running on 10% battery right now. So I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
better
yeah.
that
Same.
all three of
Same.
us fuck off.
Yeah, let's definitely keep in touch. I want to add you to the official Stigmata WhatsApp chat where there are people from bands all around the world, people from different disciplines, vocations. There are great conversations, but
Jesus
it's an
Christ.
open space.
You
Yeah,
know that will actually be, I'm not joking, that will be my 69th group.
keep it on silent though. There are a lot of conversations on it. Okay, but
And man,
I
I
want
have
you
to
to.
archive all my groups because all of them have like 9,000 messages. And I'm like, oh God. Because
Yeah,
it's either messages or stickers. Okay? I have stickers that I can't even show people. That's how bad it is.
but share stuff, share music, share your knowledge, connect with people. There might be other people and bands there you meet that you'll be able to interview and have chats with.
Oh
uh,
yeah,
there,
sure.
there are peeps from around the world there, so it's pretty cool. I mean, the Lexa Punk guys are there who played at the Evil show. Those guys are on the chat. There are a couple of other guys.
That was a band I did not expect to enjoy. Okay, because I hadn't heard them before, so I thought they
Yeah.
were like a ginger knockoff. But then she didn't do
Nah,
any growling, so I was
they
like,
were fucking awesome.
okay.
It's like Venom, Slayer, and Motorhead had a baby. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, you guys should also check out Illustrium because I think you like their stuff.
I
They're
will. I saved the album and I bookmarked the record
yeah,
as well.
because they do progressive death metal, but since it's all about mental health and also pride. Okay, because like I would have talked about this if Shane was there because I know that she's transitioned, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the thing is that Illustrium's bassist is LGBT.
Okay.
Understand? So that also opens up that outlet. Plus, their drummer, besides playing in Illustrium, he also plays in Galactic Empire, which is the
Oh
whole
wow,
Star
yes.
Wars theme
Star Wars
thing.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
So his rhythms are something that you can definitely show Mr. Damnation here. Yeah. It'll be interesting for you.
We will for sure, buddy. We will.
Can you
Are,
do
thanks for
me,
having us on your pod, man.
can
It's
you
been a
do me
pleasure.
one favor, Mr. Damnation?
Can we just
If you have any time, can you send me a playthrough of you doing a Fire and the Void? Yeah,
Yeah. Cool.
because I want
That'd
to
be
see
fun.
how you do that gravity blast. Okay.
Yeah. We'll do that, buddy. Thank you so much, man, for everything. We
Oh, my
appreciate it.
pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. I mean,
You're
see, having fun with my guest is what it's all about. I don't want to do the same old boring podcast that is like, how did you write this record? I'm like, no, fuck no. I'm not doing that.
This was good. This was a blast, man. This was a
Yeah,
gravity blast.
yeah, exactly. Solo. Anyway, solo.
So thank you
Y'all,
so much. Let us know when this drops, and we'll be sharing it around too, man.
I will try and drop it tomorrow. Of
So soon.
course,
My
yeah,
God.
because I'm not doing any edits, man. What we have just recorded is what's going up there with all the bullshit. There's no problem.
Nice.
So,
I like it. Love it, man.
yeah, like, yeah, I don't do any edits at all. And you're free to use the footage. It's no issue. Because a lot of bands ask me that, and I'm just like, use it, man. It's fun.
We will. We will share it. We'll give a push. And yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because a lot of people were like, we want to use it for reels and things. And I was like, you can use it. You don't need to ask my permission.
Thanks, man. We will. We'll definitely use it for reels and stuff. We touched upon some really important topics. So yeah, for sure.
And we had fun too. Because I
And had
get
fun.
to, yeah, that's the
Had
main
loads
thing.
of fun. We
Anyway,
learned some new music from you. You got to see our kids. Yeah, I'd say overall this was a win-win situation.
yeah. I mean, usually what happens is when I run out of questions, I vomit more music on people. But this time we spoke so much that I couldn't do that. Anyway, but I mean, I have your WhatsApp, so I can definitely vomit more music on you over there. But one
Absolutely.
one question I wanted to ask: what exactly do you teach? Because you said you had to teach something.
Okay, so I'm a lecturer where I teach for three universities. So I teach CIM, so Internationally Chartered Institute of Marketing. I teach marketing, but I also teach MBA and MSc students. I teach digital platform strategy and I teach social media marketing.
Oh, nice. I, for me, my day job is as a mechanical engineer, but
Yes.
I do sales engineering, which basically means doing project sales, bringing the project
Right.
into the company. So I have to do
Nice.
marketing too.
Nice.
I don't use any tips and tricks, though. All I do is I use a company profile and I bullshit my way out of it. But that's part of the job, right? If you're good at bullshitting, you're good at it, which
Yeah.
apparently I'm very good at, which I didn't know until I started doing sales. But yeah, I've been doing sales now for 5 years. Otherwise,
All
before
right.
that, I was doing like proper engineering shit. But then when I realized that sales pays more, I switched. And I was
Smart
like,
move.
yeah, yeah,
Because you get commission on your sales also. So
yes.
yeah.
Plus, rather than being in an office, I get to be on the road, which is what
Nice.
I enjoy because then I can blast a record. I can't
Nice.
do that in the office because then everybody will be like, oh my God, he's blasting Behemoth Satan.
That
But
is
yeah,
true.
like I remember once, okay, my ringtone was, I think, what was it? I think it was Cannibal Corpse or something. And only one Filipino motherfucker realized it was Cannibal Corpse. He came to me and he's like, you like metal too? I'm like, yes. And then everybody else just looked at us like we were two satanic idiots. Like, no, like literally, I remember even in high school, that time everybody was fresh to the phone and, people used to have songs as their ringtones. So I, like an idiot, put Heaven Shall Burn. And every time my phone rang, because I forgot how to put it on vibrate or silent, so my phone would ring in full glory. And my teacher would look at me like I'm some retarded idiot. And I was like, well, okay. Yeah. So all that has happened in my lifetime.
Your
Going
lifetime. Don't worry, you got many, many, many more lifetimes to go, brother.
yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for being on this with me. It was a lot of fun.
Pleasure. Thanks for having us, man. And
Yeah.
let's connect soon. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And hopefully, like whenever the record comes out, we'll do a listening party.
Let's
because that's something I would like to do.
That'll be
You know?
awesome, man. We'd love, no, more than that, we'd love to. We'll send you a record so that you can do a proper review of it, a video
Oh
review.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I do unfiltered reviews anyway. So if you see a bunch of expletives, that's definitely mine. But
That'd be
yes,
fine. Looking forward to it. We'll do that for sure, buddy. Awesome stuff.
thank you so much for
Okay,
being.
pleasure. You take care.
Yes, definitely. Take
See
care,
you,
buddy.
buddy.
Horns
See you.
up.
Bye. Bye.